Welcome, everyone, and thank you for attending my talk today here at Stage 9 XR. As Aline mentioned, my name is Devin Mistry, and I'm the Associate Director and Strategic BIM and Digital Lead at McBain's. I'll be providing you with an overview of some of the myths and facts regarding the metaverse, which encompass, obviously, virtual reality, augmented, and mixed reality, and showing how any AEC business can very quickly deploy certain workflows to vastly improve collaboration and coordination, and also communication. I will start off by kind of setting the scene in terms of my current company role, background, and experience, and then dive straight into the topics outlined here today within the contents. The idea being everyone can hopefully gain some valuable insights to take away back to their respective places of work and start to really explore these various avenues within the metaverse. So, who are McBain's and what do we do? Well, we're a highly experienced property and construction consultancy with offices around the UK and one in Athens, Greece. We are truly multi and interdisciplinary and provide a vast range of design consultancy services. The USP we have is that we truly like to think and do end-to-end collaborate processes across all stages of the programs by striving to find the better way. We kind of believe that simplicity and intelligence are effective partners. Simplicity provides the breathing space to think clearly, and in turn, clarity allows intelligence to be deployed more effectively. Now, a brief introduction to myself. Having gained a kind of breadth of experience across residential, commercial, hospitality, and mixed-use schemes in the UK and some places around the world, I wanted to hone in my knowledge and skills and passion towards building information modeling and XR to kind of enhance the quality, efficiency, and overall process in which we operate. A natural progression has been to research, test, and find the optimum solutions for XR, and really pushing this to areas of communication and coordination which were never investigated previously. Some examples that you can see here include live interactive model walkthroughs in dome environments for clients in their marketing suites, AR apps for public consultations, and encouraging the younger generation to take their gaming enthusiasm into the real world. Now, if we start to really dissect what the metaverse stands for and entails, you'll find an abundance of information online, of which some is correct and some actually, in fact, is quite far-fetched and distorts the boundaries of reality. What I wanted to do today is separate the facts from the fiction and then apply those logical foundations to our design workflow in practice. So there's kind of 5 key myths of the metaverse, in my opinion. The first one is that it's just another word for VR. Virtual reality, in fact, fulfills only one of those elements of how we interact in the online world. On its own, it doesn't really offer a connected experience and is often solitary, closing ourselves off from our surroundings. As hardware becomes smaller, lighter, and with a higher cost-to-value ratio, the technology will become even more powerful and practical. Again, treating the metaverse as only related to NFT projects is a view of some of those who are building certain metaverse projects, those that are lumped under the category of Web3 and built on principles of decentralization and shared ownership. Issues with crypto and blockchains, such as deregulation, are likely to improve in the future, especially with reduced energy usage, but these are not essential to the concept of the metaverse. Thirdly, people often have the idea that the metaverse is solely about virtual spaces that bear little relation to the real world. However, some of the most exciting and interesting application developments revolve around creating digital twins in order to help us better understand and interact with the world we inhabit. This can happen on many levels. As a very basic concept, a connected virtual world can be educational. The game Minecraft, for example, has been used to create virtual environments that can teach children how we learn everything from mathematics to history. Number 4, it is more likely that the metaverse will be a collective term for many different worlds, working environments, and simulations that will provide our online experiences in the future. As we have seen with the current iteration of the internet, there are many platform providers such as Amazon, Meta, or Google that purport to offer everything we need to live our lives online. In reality, they all tend to be strong in certain areas and weak in others. In my opinion, the next iteration of the metaverse is likely to be similar, with a number of different platforms we can jump between in order to pick and choose the experience that we prefer. Finally, the misconception that the metaverse will be something like the Matrix and that's inevitable is incorrect. The questions we can ask ourselves about what should we be working towards a future where we spend more of our lives connected to screens, and are we harming the mental development of the younger generation, are valid. But the concept of it could have the potential to enrich our lives in numerous ways. from building virtual communities that bring people together to improve our design and construction skills with technology and engineering, as you've seen from some of the presentations today. So having debunked the main fictitious elements of the metaverse, we can now start to drill into the current and most important purpose as an asset for our industry. This being the fact that it is truly a collaborative and immersive environment, which is powered by virtual, augmented, and mixed realities. To achieve a truly successful working metaverse environment, there are 7 layers which kind of make up its foundations. These 7 layers represent different phases and must work together from the experiences people seek to the enabling technologies that make it possible. Through my experiences thus far, I've found that we managed to create and develop these layers of experience, discovery, creator economy, and spatial computing very well, which are the green ticks that you see on the diagram there. However, to complete the puzzle, we now need to focus on decentralizing, so shifting the power and control away from centralized authorities. And next, and as scary as it kind of may sound, closing the gap between humans and machines is imperative for immersive virtual experiences of the metaverse. For example, as headsets get smaller, they become more intelligent and they get closer to our bodies in terms of our feelings towards them. And finally, there is a complex technological infrastructure required to create a fully functional and interoperable metaverse that enables our devices to connect into virtual networks and deliver content. Therefore, we must understand these 7 layers and how each makes up a vital aspect of the space, which can't function in isolation from one another. So granted, all of those layers or cogs are needed for the metaverse engine to run smoothly, but the central piece is sometimes missing, which is you or us. It's a creative space for anyone who wants to craft experiences. That's why at McBain's we've started to develop 3 key areas to focus on where the metaverse can assist, that being collaboration, coordination, and presentation. Born out of the COVID-19 pandemic, having temporarily been limited to working and collaborating remotely, new opportunity and innovations were explored. We managed to kind of positively blur the lines between our physical and virtual office spaces by creating a virtual twin of our London building to improve communication, but also to provide staff with some form of familiarity and feeling of being together. The virtual environment was created through a Revit model, which was brought into Unreal Engine. By integrating Steam and VR chat, each staff member could then teleport into the office as avatars of their choice and freely walk, talk, and interact with the environment. XR also has allowed our company to take BIM further with interactive coordination in a virtual environment. Recently, we've invested in The Wild by Autodesk, as Gabe discussed before, to create project hubs for some of our key clients, and these being kind of public clients, so the government, for example, that would allow the entire design and supply chain teams to enter working BIM models together. Some of the workflows we could test live include instant 3D massing, manipulating Revit assets, and interacting with the project's built fabric at a one-to-one scale. This is vastly improved in construction programs, timelines by fast-tracking design to construction, and the amendments and developments that go along with that. Here are some user screenshots from one of our projects used within The Wild. Personally, this is perhaps the space of the metaverse world which has the greatest potential in our industry by providing a complete work in progress picture of our buildings and spaces. Finally, we can also look at presenting our clients with different material and finishing options for buildings, such as architectural treatments, glazing types, and facade designs. By doing so, they will immediately gain an understanding as to how the investment will appear upon completion and ensure certainty over product value with their vision and original brief. As well as client satisfaction, we at McBain's have been able to capture minds, gauge further interest, and qualify our projects, which can also be used as a promotional material to end users. Simple workflows using real-time rendering plugins for Revit, such as Enscape and Twinmotion, as you're all aware, are standard across our business now, and we often use these as testing grounds for material and massing options. Within 30 seconds, we can transform any geometric model into interactive environments with various downstream outputs for viewing. Another example is 360 panoramas, which can be created of spaces to view on mobile devices, either as native file formats or via QR codes, which add a niche touch to drawings and reports. And in fact, we've made it an office standard now on all of our detailed drawings. So for example, bathroom pods, kitchen designs will have a QR code in each of the rooms to kind of gain an understanding of the space to the contractor, to the client, to understand how it feels before they sign off on the drawing. Another example is obviously real-time rendered walkthroughs, which show how a series of limited keyframes in Enscape or Twinmotion can tell the story of a user's building experience and evoke a sense of place and feeling to our projects. Now, initially, there was obviously, when we deployed this about 4 or 5 years ago, there was concern in terms of how long this kind of stuff would take. But with Enscape and Twinmotion, you can set preset customizations for standards, for keyframes, and they just automatically will update as your design progresses through the different stages. So, in conclusion, where do I and we should see the future of the AEC metaverse? I guess we need to learn to separate ourselves from the hyperbole used by kind of tech crowds and other aspects about this space, because it's quite clear and obvious that there is a tremendous potential for our peers to use XR to improve workflows, teamwork, and serve our clients more effectively. Those that make the commitment to learn the final details of XR and a nascent technology still in development will position themselves to be leaders within their fields and companies. As with all new advances, there are still steps to be taken before the metaverse is something that we can use on a daily basis. However, we should all be aware of its capacity and start to begin taking solid steps to understand its potential and introduce it into our daily working environments. So I guess the takeaway is to enjoy this digital maturity within the metaverse. And as a lot of speakers today have mentioned, it's about finding the right tools for your specific workflow, getting involved in it, and just making a start. The same goes for AI, as Bruno explained earlier. Thank you very much for listening.